What's really good, my people? Welcome into No Ketchup Chicago, for Chicago, by Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Little. Big Nick the Quick in the building, as always. Funeral Tuesday.
Funeral Tuesday, baby.
That's what you came up with. I like it.
Funeral Tuesday.
That's what it felt like.
Yep.
Before we get into that, let's break down what we're talking about. Obviously, we're going to key in and talk a ton about the Bears' loss at home, 16-15 to the Eagles on Sunday. First playoff game in 8 years. We took an L there. I didn't listen to myself, which we'll get into. A lot to break down there.
Yeah.
National championship was last night. Clemson did that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Alabama. A lot of different storylines in this game.
Lots.
Alabama getting rolled, the way the game started. Tua, quarterback play from Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
A lot of different stuff to break down there. I'm excited to talk about the national championship. College football is over. Clemson did it. We're going to break that down. We're going to close the show. NFL playoffs, a roundup, what's going on this weekend with a bunch of, obviously, some more the divisional games coming up.
Yep.
And a lot of interesting NFL coaching hires.
Very interesting.
We got some takes on that.
Yeah, very interesting hires out there.
Very interesting hires.
Some head shaking hires, head scratching hires going on out there in the league. But what can you expect, you know?
Yeah, no doubt. Before we get into it, how are you feeling, bruh? Just your body, your state right now.
Not good, man. You know, definitely not good, man. Obviously, you know, I got up for this, man. I got real excited. I know I was trashing the Bears for a lot of the season, and I think you know, one of the reasons why is that you know, when I do get into it, man, I get really into it, right? You know, it just always sucks when it ends like this. And just the way it went down, just the way that whole game happened, man, just and obviously the end, it was just a lot to take in, you know, being a passionate fan, I guess you would call it. But a lot. I'm happy that the Bears had a good year. You know, I'm happy for the 12-4. I love to be in it. I'd rather have that than 4-12 any day, but you know, it's the high of highs and the low of lows, I guess you would call it, with this year. No
doubt.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't listen to myself. Before we get into the details on the game, I was preaching this whole, this is all gravy, we shouldn't be here, enjoy this, enjoy the wins, don't get too up, don't get too down, because this is all gravy.
Yeah.
And when we were in the position to go out with a win, to go out to L.A. and play a team that we had already dominated at home a couple weeks ago, it was too much not to get excited about.
It was getting real.
It was getting real.
It was already real. I mean, it's been real for the last few weeks.
See, that's the thing. It was real, but when I sat down and Aikman and those dudes came on, it was like, this is real for real.
Yeah.
Like, this is playoff football that's about to go down. And not Aikman, but Collinsworth and them.
Yeah.
For the NBC crew. I started the season with Collinsworth and them at Green Bay when I went down to the game, and ended the season with Collinsworth and those boys.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
2 L's.
But yeah, it was real then. We were the last game of the weekend.
Yeah.
Everyone was watching.
Everybody played. The spot.
The spot, bro.
The spot,
the ratings were through the roof, I saw. I was crushed, bro. What happened? Let's go through it.
I mean, a lot happened.
Give me your raw. Just give me your raw little take, and I'll give you some structure on the kind of the things.
So a few different things, but I thought that first off, Philly came to play. I think you can't really talk about what the Bears did wrong without talking about what Philly did right, and I think Philly just overall came to play. They came in there with confidence. They weren't scared of the Bears at all. Defensively especially, right? On defense, they came out with a ton of confidence. I thought offensively, they obviously the numbers show you offensively they didn't really do too much against us. But that secondary that we were going after, I mean, they played well. LeBlanc was playing out of his mind. Thought their defensive line did a good job. Just overall, just the confidence. They were just never scared, you know what I mean? Offensively, I thought that we really dominated them. I guess defensively for us, I thought that we really dominated them. I'm not going to fault the defense for what happened at the end, because I think overall, if you look at the run game, I think they only rushed for 38 yards. We forced 2 turnovers. Like, you know, if you had told me that going in, hey, Foles is going to throw 2 picks, and they would have only rushed for 38 yards, I probably would have told you that's a W.
If you would have told me, because you're dead on, they had 42 yards rushing.
42, yeah.
And he threw 2 picks.
Yeah.
If that's supposed to be a runaway.
You could have told me he would have thrown 3 touchdowns and 2 picks. I still would have thought we would have won that.
That's
game.
supposed to be a runaway.
Slam dunk.
Yeah.
But defensively, they came to play. Shout out to the defensive coordinator. Oh, is it Jim Schwartz? I refuse to shout out Jim Schwartz, but
that's
one of the biggest
though.
cornballs of all time as a head coach. But he did his thing, man. I mean, I guess shout out to him. He really did his thing. I just thought defensively they were very prepared for the Bears. And they put the Bears into the position that we did not want the Bears in, which was the game coming down to Trubisky and Parkey, which one of them delivered, but the other one obviously didn't.
Now, I'm not sure I agree with you so much there, because towards the fourth quarter, remember last week we talked about them opening it up?
Yeah.
As soon as we started to open it up a little bit, they didn't really have too much of an answer for us on defense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they weren't as stout as they were early because it looked like we changed a lot of things up.
But you could say the same thing about us. I mean, both teams gave up a late game drive that ended up costing the game.
But I think they were aggressive from the jump.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see. I hear you.
You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I see what you mean.
They came out aggressive from the – remember we talked about, let's see how the game is going.
Yeah.
If we need to open it up, then let's go.
Yeah.
Because their weakness is the secondary. We can go do that. And we were coming out pretty – Nagy was on some very, very conservative stuff early.
Yeah.
As soon as we started running double moves, Trubisky was pumping and going to Allen Robinson. Did you see how they were jumping those double moves?
Yeah.
They were almost falling down.
All day,
They were jumping them so
we
hard.
had them,
Yeah. So it's interesting that we didn't open up the offense like I thought we needed to earlier than we should have. I think.
Yeah, kind of like I said last week. Yeah. Come out guns a-blazing.
Because I have written down here, out of the 3 things of what happened, offense only put up 15 points. Being too conservative early.
1 touchdown.
Defense not holding up, and then we're going to get into the whole Parkey situation.
See, I disagree with the defensive thing. I really do.
Why?
I really do. I feel like the defense did their job in that game. That late game shit's going to happen, but we should have never been in that position. We honestly should have. You cannot ask your defense to get stops pretty much the entire game. That's what they have been doing, to stop the entire game. That touchdown came on the last offensive drive for the Eagles of the entire game. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, yeah, it happened, right? And like, it sucks. And like, yeah, Foles got us, but we shouldn't have been in that position. If we had scored another touchdown earlier, that's not a ball game, right? 2 touchdowns would have won that game, and the field goals that we got would have won that game. That's not asking for a lot. You cannot put your defense in these positions like that. Teams are gonna score eventually. We scored eventually, right? I mean, teams are gonna score eventually. It happens. You can't ask them not to give up a touchdown.
I mean, we gave up 16 points.
16
if
points.
You tell me before the game we give up 16 points, I'm telling you we won.
16 points.
We won the game, right? But on the flip side of that, what are we talking about going in? Like, we were worried about Trubisky. We were worried about Cody Parkey.
Yeah.
We weren't worried about the D. If you would have told me the Eagles are going to have to go, 70 yards?
Yeah.
To score a touchdown in the 4th to win the game, I would have said no shot, no way.
Yeah.
Our boys would have locked up, and there was just no way that would have happened.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
I get what you're saying, that they had been stout all day. They hadn't given up a touchdown.
Yep.
But, man, when we needed them the most, I think they take a little blame there. I think Parkey takes some blame. I think Nagy takes some blame. And I think the D takes some blame for giving up a late touchdown.
100%. The D takes some blame. But I guess in that moment, right? But in the overall sense of the game, of like what happened, you know, when you're looking at it after the game happened and just kind of looking at the overview, I can't blame them for us losing the game. I can blame them for that drive, sure. But overall, man, the other things that you said are more important to me, right? Like not being aggressive, things like that. Some of the Nagy decisions did not make sense, right? Letting the clock run down and not using that timeout at the end of the game didn't make sense. Why not give more time to run some more plays and maybe score a touchdown and not put it in Parkey's hands? The 2-point conversion to me, which I know are we gonna talk about that now?
Yeah.
You want to just get into that now?
Yeah, we can talk about that now.
Look, man, for like the first 6 weeks of the season, and I think we talked about this, that little shovel pass down by the goal line to Taylor Gabriel or to Trey Bird and whoever you were doing it to was bread and butter for us. We used it a lot. It worked a lot. Teams caught on to that. Down by the goal line, all that Khalil Mack action and that stuff, I get it. That's Nagy's whole thing. But at the end result has to be a better play than that same shovel pass right there. We've been running that play forever. Philadelphia clearly knew that was coming. You know what I mean? Remember we ran it with Burden. We ran it with Gabriel. That's kind of our thing. They know that we like to run Gabriel out the backfield like that. I thought that was predictable. I was really surprised that that was the play that he came up with because it looked like he had a whole lot of little Nagy misdirection going on, and I was surprised that that's kind of what he came up with because if I was the Eagles, the first thing I would have said is watch out for Taylor Gabriel coming around on some end-around type situation. Is this it? No, it's not it.
No, I was looking for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find the play, but
that's a staple of this offense. It's a Kansas City user.
It wasn't a shovel pass. It was like a quick reverse.
Whatever that is, man. The little thing where Taylor Gabriel's coming and and he's there.
The only thing, the way they had been playing the run all day, Philly.
Yeah,
it was smash mouth down there.
100%.
Like it was smash mouth.
Yeah,
everything it was on our side when it was D. They were running it. We were smacking them in the mouth. And when we had the ball and we were going at them, it was smash mouth football. There was very rarely a play where someone wasn't getting contact within the first couple of yards when we were running the ball.
Yeah.
To give Taylor Gabriel the ball down there, I understand it's a little misdirection.
On the goal line.
On the goal line when you gotta bang some people to get in probably.
And you have Jordan Howard on the roster. If that's what you want to do.
But doesn't that go back to the point where, hey, listen.
Be you.
That's what you thought was going to work. Let's rock with it.
I just thought it was a bad play call. Even if you want to run something fancy, that's fine. I just thought it was a bad play call in general. I didn't like the play call at all. I didn't like it. I did not like it.
I would like to see a little run, a little rollout. Give the option
a little
of
misdirection rollout that you like. That works. That works well, and you can do different things from that. But they knew if I'm Jim Schwartz, I'm saying, yo, watch out for Taylor Gabriel. He loves these little things in that situation. Watch out for him and watch out for Shaheen. Because if either one of those guys runs across the backfield like that, they're getting the ball. Don't even look at everybody else. Don't even look at Khalil Mack. He's not going to catch a pass out there.
Yeah, anytime when he runs that motion away, it almost never goes to that side.
It goes the opposite direction.
And that almost can go to kind of maybe the Doug Peterson knowing how he gets down.
Yeah.
Like, listen, don't even pay attention to that noise.
Yeah.
Like this Khalil Mack shit and him motioning out, that's
meant
all
for you
noise.
To look over there and be like, damn, what's Khalil Mack doing out there?
Doing? Next thing you know, Taylor Gabriel speedster is running around the edge.
Yeah,
right?
Look for him.
Look for him.
They were all over that. I'm telling you, he knew that. You blow that up like that when you know the play, or you have a good idea. It's one of 5 or 6 plays you know is coming, right? And I think that's defensive coaching right there. Look out for him. Look out for Taylor Gabriel. Yeah. Be mindful of where he is on the football field because, and again, Nagy likes to give it to him out the backfield. Taylor Gabriel is kind of like his Swiss Army knife. So I mean, yeah, I think you could have came up with something a lot better than that.
Yeah.
A whole lot better than that.
Interesting. Because as deep as that playbook is, I agree with you.
Yeah, there was something. And that's his specialty, those weird little plays down there at the goal line. Like you had the touchdown to the lineman and shit like that. I just thought he could have came harder.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yep.
A. Christ in the chat, he said, didn't throw downfield really till the 4th quarter. A-Rob could have eaten that dude up all night. That's 100% facts.
Definitely.
Once he started going to him, he was killing him.
Yeah.
And I think this is a really good segue into – we're going to close this segment with Parkey, and we got a lot to say about that.
Yeah.
But I lost my train of thought. But I'm saying – oh, okay. The perfect segue into A. Christ saying that he didn't really open it up till the 4th quarter. Mitchell Trubisky in the 4th quarter looked like a man, bro.
Money. I
was so impressed, bro. Because I remember, so take it back to Philly having the ball and needing to go down and we went down and scored a touchdown. And we're like, in my head, bro, I'm like, this shit is over.
We're good.
We're good.
Yeah.
You're telling me they're gonna have to go down and score a touchdown on our D?
Yeah.
We're good.
We're good.
Then they start moving that thing. And before I get to Trubisky, if we want to talk about quarterback play, I've never seen someone get the ball out as quick as Nick Foles was getting the ball out, bro.
It's great, yeah.
The anticipation on his throws, he was throwing shit so early that they looked like lollipops that were about to get intercepted.
Remember, that's what they kept saying. They kept saying he's throwing these. What did we kept saying? He's throwing the ball above the rim. They're playing above the rim.
Bro,
that's what Collinsworth kept saying.
It was the most ridiculous.
It is.
Like,
it's crazy.
That ball over the middle to I think Aguilar.
Yeah,
he threw the ball. I think it was like an out and back to the post.
Yeah.
He had threw the ball before he made his first move.
Yeah.
And then started to go to the second move. He was getting the ball out of his hands.
Confident.
ASAP Rocky, bro.
I know you said like last week we both said like, oh, we don't believe the hype, but I mean that there is something to it. There's something to it when you can deliver in those type of situations. I mean, there's something to it, man. Like we got Foles, 100%.
The way he was,
he was terrible for 3 quarters.
He was getting rid of the rock.
Yeah,
he wasn't. I
mean, he wasn't terrible, but I mean, he wasn't. He wasn't dominating us for 3 quarters. He threw the 2 picks.
The first pick was a fucking outrageous play by Roquan.
Yeah,
that's an all-pro play. That wasn't Nick Foles' fault.
He took the
he
ball
legit took the ball out of his homie.
Second one, the Amos pick.
Second one was horrible.
Horrendous.
Yeah.
But it's not like he was shredding the Bears, is what I mean. Like, he wasn't shredding us up. They weren't scoring points. You know what I mean? They weren't scoring touchdowns. So that's what I mean. I mean, yeah, it's not like he was having the game of his life and ripping us up and scored 28 points.
No doubt.
Yeah.
But back to Trubisky. Because my man early was a little shaky.
Yeah.
But I think he was getting jitters out. And Philly, like you said, came to play ball.
The defense came to play.
They was playing defense for real.
The defense came to play.
But once Nagy opened it up,
he looked good.
He looked amazing, bro.
And that was probably my biggest takeaway from the game. Positive is that I'm not worried about Mr. Trubisky at all. He showed me in the second half of the season and in this playoff game that we're good. I don't think he's going to get worse. You know what I mean? There's nothing that he showed me that makes me think he's going to get worse. Does he have a lot of things to work out? Absolutely. He's a young quarterback. But the way he played in that fourth quarter was exactly what I needed to see. The stakes couldn't have been any higher. He did his job when he was asked to. We need a fourth quarter drive, which is something, again, we feared that he would have to deliver in this game. He delivered. It's not his fault that, Cody Parkey clanked the ball. You know what I mean? That's not on Mitch.
That corner, I think it was to Tony Miller.
Yeah.
Or was that Bellamy? Who was that on the corner route? I can't even remember.
It was Jay Bellamy.
Jay Bellamy.
Yeah.
Because I remember being like, is that Bellamy?
It was Jay Bellamy. That's the same thing we said.
I was like,
Jay Bellamy.
Is that Bellamy?
Yeah, Jay Bellamy, who could not catch a cold last year.
Yeah. That corner ball he put on him was perfect.
Dime.
The out and up to Robinson on the touchdown drive, perfect.
Yeah.
Dime. So he looked amazing in the fourth.
And got us into position for the field goal. Again, he did his job.
Did his job.
Yeah.
He did his job.
Absolutely.
No,
and didn't look scared, confident, man. I mean, I'm really, again, if there's a silver lining for Bears fans, it's that we're good with Trubisky right now. I do not see him regressing next year or that type of stuff. The confidence is there. He's only going to get better.
That was a great way to close it.
Yeah.
I think. Now, if it was the flip and like he kind of did what we'll talk about the Parkey situation in a second, but like say for example on that last drive he throws a pick.
Yeah.
I would hate to see him go into the offseason like that.
Answering questions.
Exactly.
This is a Trubisky question. He's not going to hear it.
Yeah.
He's not going to hear it in the offseason like he 100% right.
I'm very happy that
right. Yeah.
the last thing he left everybody with was like, hey, man.
We're good.
I got y'all down there. The whole kicking situation is a different thing, but I did my thing in the fourth quarter.
On Monday, nobody was talking about Mitch as a reason that we lost the game. And nobody was talking about, oh, shit, do we need to worry about something at the quarterback? Yeah.
I think that's major.
Which helps our offseason tremendously, in my opinion, too, because you feel set there. It's kind of like a peace of mind. You know what I mean? You saw 15 games, 14 games of Mitch this year that you like. So we're good.
All right, let's talk Cody Parkey.
Do we have to?
Give me your initial thoughts, man.
I mean, so I know there's a video circulating now of the ball getting tipped off the fingers, which absolutely matters.
Yeah.
And anyone pretending like, oh, it's just a little bit, like, no, that absolutely matters.
Absolutely tip the ball.
When the ball's going like that and it hits anything, it's gonna throw off the trajectory of the ball, right? With that being said, crazy.
Let's rewind, because when they scored I'm at the bar watching the game. The bar is jammed.
Yeah.
And if you were on the No Ketchup Instagram story, you saw the live reaction of how it all went down and him hitting the post or whatever. But I remember having this feeling in my stomach like, wow, it's really going to come down to Trubisky and Cody Parkey. Like, our worst nightmare, essentially. The gut feeling went down after Trubisky got us in order, and I'm like, it's going to come down to Parkey, bro.
Yep.
And if we're gonna be honest, I wasn't feeling that nuts, that crazy because he had banged three earlier, and they were all down the middle. They looked good.
Yeah.
So I'm like, because remember in the last week I mentioned like if he misses early, then we're in trouble.
Yeah.
But
you're on the shower Cody Parkey.
Yes, support.
Train.
Yeah. And going into that, I'm feeling confident because he didn't miss. He was doing his thing, and he had it locked up. I am on the side of the icing where if you get an opportunity to kick it, I think you take it. Get a look, get a feel from where you're at, and then take it again. So a lot of people are out there like, he shouldn't have kicked it. Just when the whistle blows, just pull back, whatever. My initial thought was that he missed it.
I've never seen a kicker not kick it in that situation.
No?
I'm trying to think of every time a kicker gets iced, they generally kick it because you always want to see if it's going in. I've never seen a kicker just stop. If you stop, you can stop in your motion, you fuck around and pull your hamstring.
Yeah, but I think more times than not, the whistle's coming before you're going into any motion. You know what I mean?
I'm just trying to think if I've ever, I mean, I guess it's not something I really look for. Now I will going forward, but I haven't even heard that. But yeah. What are you trying to do, save his good kick?
I don't know, but like, people were, that was an argument. Like, yo, why'd he kick it? He did jinx himself.
That's a stupid
blah, blah,
argument.
blah.
It doesn't make any sense.
But let's get this straight.
Sorry.
Initially, before I saw it get tipped, I was on Cody Parkey's ass.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't wait to jump on Tuesday. I'm in Cody Parkey's ass. Yeah. He's a bum. First off, it's something you couldn't write in a script that it hit the post and then hit the crossbar and jumped out.
It went backwards.
That's the most like
usually it bangs to the front.
Mockery shit of all time.
Crazy.
For him hitting the post as many times as he did in the regular season to then lose the game off the hitting. I've never seen anybody hit the crossbar and hit the post then hit the crossbar. I've never seen anything like that. Now that it's been blocked, if you go back and look at it, our offensive line got blown up crazy. Big time penetration. And could Parkey have gotten it up and over a little bit? Yeah. But I don't know, man. Okay. It changes the narrative a ton.
I don't know how much it changed the narrative for me just because of where I was with Parkey. I don't know, man. I mean, at the same time, he almost lost the benefit of the doubt by the fact that it's the 6th time he did it this year. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm on both sides because I'm not going to sit here and act like someone's fingertips don't change the trajectory of that ball, right? Enough to even send it off that way. At the same time, this dude is notorious for kicking the uprights. You know what I mean?
Doubt.
He's notorious. It happened last week. You know what I mean? So it's just, yeah. I mean, you asked in the middle of the year, what do we do? Change our kicker? Yeah, you bring people in. You start warming people up. You see who's out there. Just like in any other position, man. You have to bring in competition there.
One thing you said that caught my attention, we were talking on the phone after the game, was you knew the kicker was a problem. You didn't address it, and we went into the playoffs kind of hoping and praying it didn't come up.
Yeah.
What were we supposed to do though? We owe him $9 million guaranteed. Do we bench him?
Here's the thing. My question is, did at any point in the year did we bring in anybody else just for tryouts? I'm not saying cut Cody Parkey at that point in time. I'm not saying sign somebody for the sake of signing somebody, but just bring some people in. Have them kick at Soldier Field. Soldier Field is going to be a factor. You got home field advantage. Have them kick at Soldier Field. Bring somebody in. Just see what's out there. It does not hurt to try. It's a kicker. You don't need to learn a fucking playbook. You know what I mean? Like, just honestly, just bring somebody else to kick. We knew we knew it was an issue. We knew it was an issue with this guy. And after you kick the post 4 times in one game, your confidence is shot. A kicker, you want to talk about a position where you need to be on ultra confidence. You can't have visions of what happens if this hits the post. And he did it last week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as a sick joke, Bama's kicker fucking kicks it off the post last night. Did you see that on the extra point? Yeah. But, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that shit's in his head. You know what I mean? It's in his head. Bring in somebody else. And again, if you don't find somebody, you don't find somebody. But shit, you should do your due diligence. And maybe they did bring people in, but I don't remember ever hearing anything. All I remember is that Parkey was at Soldier Field at night with helicopters kicking field goals or some stupid bear shit like that. You know what I mean? Yeah,
he ended up going down and practicing in Soldier Field and all
with
that.
With the helicopters?
I was ready to come in here and blame the whole L on Cody Parkey because this is playoff football. Defenses were banging. People were playing hard. I understand you hit 3 and you got us the 9 points of the 15 that we had.
Yeah.
Every time you trot out there, you need to make the field goal.
100%.
Unless it's from 58 yards. So if it's blocked, get the ball up and over. Ball's too low.
Yeah.
That's part of it. Part of it's his interior line give up a ton of penetration.
Sure.
Go back and look at that play. People were getting blown up.
Yeah.
They made an impact to try to block that kick.
Well, they also knew they had a kicker.
The whole special teams unit fucked that up.
Yeah.
We're supposed to go in there and bang that field goal and go to LA. There's no doubt about that. So there's no. I'm not giving them an excuse, but it doesn't all fall on Cody Parkey's shoulders. No doubt about it for me.
You got to go out there and deliver in the moment that you're paid the money to deliver in, and he was paid the money to deliver in that very moment. Point blank, there's no way around it. He needs to deliver. You know what I mean? That's why he's there. That's your job. You have one fucking job.
Where does this rank in like the heartbreak meter of your Chicago sports?
Not. It's recent, but not high when I really look at things. I mean, like I would say, there's been tougher losses. You know, the Super Bowl loss to me is the toughest loss for me in my Chicago sports thing. Then the Derrick Rose knee. It's the second toughest loss. NFC Championship game, the Cutler game, that was a tough loss for me.
Yeah.
I don't, because it was a first round game. Like we said, it's not like all year we were like high on it. It's not like that Super Bowl year, like where we're in the fucking Super Bowl and then it just all went wrong. Like, I don't know. But here's the thing. I heard something interesting the other day. It's one of those losses that, like, you'll always remember this game because of how we lost it. You know what I mean? Even the Super Bowl, I've never watched a highlight of that game, and I remember certain things about it, but it's not like certain moments stick out other than Cedric Benson fumble. Fuck Cedric Benson. But this particular moment, right, the double clank situation, like that's very distinct. You know what I mean? It's like we are now like have that Blair Walsh moment. You know, like we're not even Vikings fan, but you can ask anybody who Blair Walsh is, and they'll tell you who Blair Walsh is. You know what I mean? So it's just, that's where I'll always remember that.
It's funny you say that you've never watched the Super Bowl highlight, because now that you say that, I've watched the Hester run back a couple times.
Yeah, a bunch of times.
But outside of that, I've never watched a moment of that game.
So I will say this: it was on the NFL Network replay a few years ago.
It was some Manning tribute.
Yeah, one of those fucking stupid, like, one of those stupid NFL Films things where they got the horns playing and all that.
Yeah.
And it cut to the second half, and I had forgotten. I watched like 5 minutes, and I forgotten how bad Rex Grossman was in the second half of that ball game.
He was awful.
But again, I don't remember anything about that game other than the Hester return, and other than the fact that it was raining, right? It was raining like crazy.
It was raining, yeah, no doubt.
And we lost the game. But I don't know. I had forgotten that Grossman was that bad. I watched. I was like, damn, he was awful.
Yeah, bro.
But won't watch a highlight. Didn't watch SportsCenter for like a month after that. I was done.
The Hester return sticks out, of course.
Yeah. Well, the call.
Then Peyton Manning coming out and throwing an interception on the first drive.
Don't even remember it.
You don't remember that?
Don't.
He threw an interception on the first drive. I have no idea.
Was it Vasher? The interceptor?
I don't know.
That was his nickname, the interceptor.
But I remember him throwing a pick on the first drive after the touchdown run back, and I was like, we're going to destroy these dudes. It's raining. This is just what we want. And then we blew that coverage. Remember Reggie Wayne got behind the safety?
No.
We blew that coverage.
I've blacked it out, bro.
Yes.
That was the worst loss I've never experienced in my life. I remember I was in Arizona. I didn't leave the house
Yeah.
For a couple of days type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that was bad.
For me, that Super Bowl is the worst.
Yeah.
Because at that point, I was what? Like 20 years old?
Yeah.
I might have been, that was 06, right?
Yeah, you were like,
I was 18. I was 18 years
I
old.
was a sophomore. What was I?
So, like,
I was a sophomore in college, yeah.
That was the first big event after, like, the Jordan shit. If we're being 100, we were young guys. Like, we remember it, but we weren't, like, locked in.
It was our first team.
Like, it was our first real, like, yo, we're in the Super Bowl,
like, we
bro.
got 20 years of
Come
fandom.
talk to us.
Shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's number one. Number two for me is not even when the Cubs blew that series to the Marlins. That's up there.
Yeah.
It was it was like 2 or 3 years later when the Cubs got back. We had like the best record in the NL, and we lost to we got swept by Manny Ramirez and the Dodgers.
The Dodgers, I remember that. I remember that distinctly. The Cubs had the best record in baseball.
Yeah, that's up there for me because we had already went through that really stretch of like, okay, we blew the World Series thing, but now we're back.
What was the dude's name that was killing y'all? The Chinese or Japanese dude killing the Cubs. Oh
my! About the pitcher?
All I remember is there was a Japanese dude on the Dodgers. I can't remember if he was a pitcher. I can't remember if he was an outfielder.
Was it Nomo back then? Hideki?
No, I don't think it was.
I don't remember.
It was somebody. He was killing. Does anybody in the chat know? Killing the Cubs. Killing them.
But I remember we were such a good team, and we got swept.
You got swept, yeah.
Lost two in a row at home, and then went out to L.A.
Yeah.
And that was in like the thick of the Manny Ramirez and the Dodgers.
Yeah.
That one's really up there for me. And then I'm not going to lie. Like I said before, I really started sipping the juice for these Bears. Like I was on the just enjoy it, don't get too excited. But I was locked in, bro. I had bet money on the Bears the whole 9 yards. And to see them go out like that really, really crushed me, bro. I was sick for the rest of the night and then probably that next morning, no doubt.
Yeah, when you talk about games, those are up there. I think I would almost say the heartbreak meter for me, actually, just because of the chain of events that it set off, is the Derrick Rose injury. I think if you look at like, and we're outside of games, if you look at just like the domino effect of that, like the ripple effects of the Derrick Rose knee injury are still being felt today.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, that this loss last night or loss on Sunday night was definitely tough. Didn't feel good, but it's not going to be up in my top 2 or 3.
Another thing I want to address with the Cody Parkey thing is a lot of people on social media, on Twitter, on the internet are talking about Robbie Gould.
Yeah, people need to chill.
You're okay. Because that's the side I'm on.
Yeah.
If you remember, the year that we let Robbie Gould walk or cut him, I don't even know. I can't remember what we did. I don't know if his contract was up or we cut him, whatever, or didn't sign him. He had missed 6 field goals that year.
Yeah, he wasn't good.
He wasn't the Robbie that everyone knows right now and knew before, where he was just automatic all the time. He missed 6 field goals and an extra point that year we let him go.
Yeah.
So this whole narrative that Robbie Gould was 95% and we just let him go is not true.
Right. And
I think a lot of people are like, yeah, and now we got Parkey and Robbie Gould has he's only missed 2 field goals in his last 60 or whatever it is in San Francisco.
Yeah.
But listen, if you go back and really remember that season, Robbie Gould missed 6 field goals that year, and it was time to move on from him at the time.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't. Don't push that on the Bears.
And Pace was turned over. It was also in the middle. Pace turned over the roster. Robbie Gould was an expensive kicker. Yeah. I mean, I don't. Yeah. That's like some real like going back hindsight's 2020 type.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. Players get turned over in the NFL all the time. You don't have like these Vinatieri situations where you're on the same team for like 65 years and all that. You know what I mean? Or Janikowski even.
Yeah, now, I mean, in San Francisco, he's missed 2 kicks.
Yeah, he's money.
In the last 2 years.
Yeah, with no
he's
pressure.
Kicking in easy-ass San Francisco.
No pressure. He could miss 10 kicks.
Yeah,
no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to flex. I would love to. Robbie's deal is up in San Francisco.
Sure.
I would love to have him back.
Robbie Gould will never play for the Chicago Bears ever again.
Why not?
Because Robbie Gould insulted the icon, the matriarch.
Who?
Virginia McCaskey.
What did he say?
During the lockout, remember he was the player union rep, and during the lockout, he pretty much, I don't know if he called her greedy, but he insinuated that she was greedy, more or less, right? If you don't know, Virginia McCaskey is the owner of the Chicago Bears. Mike McCaskey and George McCaskey actually run the team, but she is the principal owner of the Chicago Bears and kind of like a untouchable figure in the Chicago sports landscape. I mean, first of all, she's 98 years old.
She was sipping big A&W root beer,
yeah, she was chilling, bro. Yeah.
She be smacking root beers.
That big cake. But yeah, so he pretty much came out. You can look up the quote, but he came out and said something that was against her. And this was during the lockout time, during about 2011. I forget exactly what he said. He got a lot of heat for it. And he still played on the Bears for like 3 or 4 more years after that. But I think, he's probably, yeah, there you go. That might be the quote where he's critical of all the owners, but he said something directly related to Virginia McCaskey.
Let's see if I can pull it up. But you think that's enough? You think she made the call or the?
I don't think she made the call because he was still on the team.
She made the call?
They paid him for 4 more years, but I don't think he's probably not welcome back with open arms. I think that's like the one thing you don't do with the Bears. It's like a known thing. You don't talk about Virginia McCaskey. You know what I mean? So he made that mistake. So yeah, I don't think he's.
If I got it, I'll pull it up.
I don't think he's welcome back.
Yeah.
Which whatever.
I'm gonna tell you this. I understand what you're saying, but it seems like things have changed up there in the owner's box. We're not doing things like we used to do.
I wouldn't be so quick to say that.
What are you talking about?
After 1 year,
we're signing people for $180 million.
The Bears haven't been scared to spend money before. I don't think the Bears have been scared to make a free agent splash. We gave Julius Peppers $92 million.
Yeah, we did.
We gave Jay Cutler $100. We signed Jay Cutler to the largest contract in NFL history. So I don't think the Bears ownership has been dumb and been cheap in certain situations.
We also didn't want to sign Roquan to his
they're
rookie
petty,
deal.
but which was petty, which was more. But it wasn't a money issue; it was a pettiness issue. So they've been stupid and petty. But I think they've spent money when they need to spend money on things. And obviously, I mean, the Khalil Mack thing you had to do should be in the MVP of the league, but we won't talk about that.
I would like to see Robbie Gold back. I wouldn't mind that. It's gonna be an interesting thing. Do you think we just swallow the $9 million? I think we have to.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the fortunate things that we're in a good cap space situation right now, where we might be in position to swallow that. But the NFL salary cap is always tricky. I'm sure it's something you can do to make that 9 turn into 6 and move around this and non-guaranteed.
Spread it out.
There's roster bonuses. You cut them before a certain date. That 9 is like 7.2.
$9 million guaranteed usually means $9 million.
No, because they're talking about the AB thing. Like AB, if the Steelers do certain things in a certain way, his $22 million becomes like $12 million. The NFL salary cap is funny, bro.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's why you have cap dudes on the team whose sole job is to know how to work around the cap.
Yeah, I'm not a pro on that.
Yeah, the Bears got a guy named Kliff Stein. He's the Bears capologist.
Okay,
that's what they do. Yeah, they'll figure it out, bro. That's not our job. Good thing it's not our job to figure that out.
No doubt. Let's close it here on the Bears. What do you want to see them add next year?
That's a good question.
Yeah, what would you like to see them improve? Yeah.
So with the draft this year, I think because we're so good at the front of the line, I mean, like our starters, I really want to see the Bears draft for depth. We won't be this healthy next year. It's not like, hey, will we? We will not be this healthy this year. It'd be an anomaly. Everything we've seen about football will show that we won't be this healthy this year. So our main focus in the draft is we need to add quality depth, right? Don't necessarily look to swing for home runs. If you can get, because your front of the line guys are signed and they're good, get guys that can come in and play in the NFL right now, because you're going to need that depth. A corner goes down, a receiver goes down, defensive lineman goes down. Get some guys who can come in and play right now. I think when you're rebuilding, you can take those big swings, but I think I think our team, from a talent perspective, we're really good. I don't see a lot of holes in how we operate right now. So just get some depth. If you can add some more playmakers, again, this offense can always use those. But defensively, draft for defensive depth. Because my biggest concern is one of the big-time defensive players goes down, and we can't, replace even 50% of that production.
Kicker, obviously, that needs to be addressed. And I'm going to go out.
Don't get desperate on a kicker, though, in the draft.
Oh, no, I'm not saying draft. I'm talking about go get it. I don't care where you get
Don't do like some Tampa Bay drafting dude from Florida State in the second round. Like,
San Diego got some dude off the street that was banging shit through against Baltimore.
Yeah, there's
easy.
kickers out there.
So, yeah, just go get someone that's reliable and that's mentally rock solid.
Bring in a lot of them.
And 100%.
Competition.
Kick, let them all kick.
Yeah,
go get a guy from Australia.
Kickers.
Whatever. Do whatever you got to do.
One of these guys, yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say this right now. Prince Amukamara is going to need to be replaced at some point in the very near future, in my opinion.
You don't think he's good?
I think he's very solid. I think he's going to be 30 coming up this summer.
Yeah.
He has a lot of things going for him that protect. He's in a very good position now with an all-pro free safety. Amos is back there.
Yeah.
And our pass rush. If he's out there on an island by himself, he's a liability.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out and say that now. I think if we could go out and get a big time, I think a corner, we need to add some depth there. I'm not saying
backfield is always great.
I'm not saying that he's not a good corner and he had a great year and our whole defense had a great year. He is going to start to show cracks, in my opinion, in the very near future going forward.
So you know what was funny when they were doing the Bears introductions and the Pro Football Focus rankings? Prince Amukamara is the number 2 cornerback in the NFL according to Pro Football Focus. Did you look at those rankings that they had for the Bears? They're outrageous, and I didn't believe in any of them because they had Khalil Mack 3rd at his position. I can't think of 2 players. But they had Trubisky 29th. So that's when I knew it was a bunch of bullshit. Cohen was like 5th. But I thought Amukamara was great. I thought he was solid. I thought he made a lot of heads-up plays.
Yeah.
The anticipation that he showed on some of his interceptions, I thought he played well. But, yeah, you're 100% right. Corners can lose it quickly. When it's gone for a corner, it's gone, and you need depth at that position.
I think he played a little over his head this year.
For sure.
There's a lot of – he was in a very, very good situation.
A lot of those guys probably did.
Yeah, and I think that we missed Eddie Jackson a lot on Sunday night late on those drives.
For sure.
And I think he's going to show that he lost a step come next year. That's might be a hot take, but that's just what I think. And if we can add some depth at the corner.
Depth in the defensive backfield, depth at linebacker, depth in the defensive line. Yeah.
Would you like to see us go out and get Le'Veon or Kareem Hunt?
No,
anything like that?
No.
Any big splashes?
No, definitely not a running back. I'm not in the pay running back camp big time at all. Definitely not Le'Veon at this point. Kareem Hunt, if you can get him for cheap,
you'll forgive?
I don't know. Yeah. The optics, man. You just got to think about the optics, and the franchise would do it. Yeah. I mean, if he's available for cheap, sure, I would grab Kareem Hunt. Why not? He fits into this offense. Absolutely.
Hey, we got a question in the chat. If you had to invite, if these 2 people had to be invited, you had to choose one to attend your cookout, are you inviting Cody Parkey or R. Kelly?
Who asked that?
Hey, shout out John Marcello for the question.
Is that
Cody Parkey or R. Kelly at the cookout? No, that's facts. That's a good question.
Oh man, did you see that? You see that button up that Cody Parkey had on after the game?
Dude, he's the most straight edge dude in history, bro.
Bro, he had a button. I'm pretty sure the top button.
Cody Parkey is just a straight edge dude.
I don't know if my kids are there, so my daughter's there. I'm not bringing R. Kelly around. I'm not bringing R. Kelly.
Listen,
unless he's in a cage singing, that doesn't even sound right.
I'm inviting R. Kelly to the cookout so we can link up and try to whoop cuz. Like if he had to show up, maybe we could if he was forced to show up, we could talk to him and maybe smack him up a little bit.
Showing up with some goons.
And then kick him. Dude,
Kel's is showing up with them people.
Big goons.
Big super goons.
But I'm gonna try to get a smack in on his ass. The shit that he's been doing for decades is crazy.
Yeah.
And my only thing is
that we all knew.
Yeah, we all knew, it's not really shocking because there's girls out here that are dealing with that type of shit from a regular dude. So if you put that on top of the stature with R. Kelly, it doesn't surprise me, but it's very sad.
I got a story about this.
It's outrageous.
Offline.
Offline, we can talk about it.
Offline banger for you.
But yeah,
probably Cody Parkey.
I'm
not bringing R. Kelly to the house.
I'm bringing R. Kelly to the crib because I don't think I'll have any little girls at the cookout, and I'll try to steal off his ass.
He was trying to have a Christmas party.
He's out of control.
Like, Robert's gonna have a Christmas party. Like, hold on, man.
Kels is out of control.
Super out of control. AJ nothing but a number.
Let's close it here. Big ups to the Bears for that run. It was an amazing season. I'm looking forward to see what we do in the offseason, who we're going to add to the squad. Because like you said, for us to stay that healthy would be a miracle next year again. So add some depth, see what we do. And shout out the Bears, man. That was an awesome run. And it's a new day in the NFC North. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
The national championship.
The
Natty. First off, I call that any college like championship game that's going on is the Natty. And I don't think enough people know that from every time I like, yo, what are you doing? You watching the Natty tonight? Like, the Natty, what's that?
Who are you talking to?
I don't know.
Yeah, you're talking to the right people, bro.
Am I talking to the wrong folks?
You're probably talking to the wrong people, man.
Like, I've multiple occasions been like, yo, you watching the Natty tonight? Who you got tonight in the Natty?
Yeah.
People are like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But yeah, the Natty's the national championship.
They say it on SportsCenter and shit.
That shit is like
surprising.
That's known across the board. The Natty's the national championship.
I wouldn't call like See, I disagree with any sport. I think it's the college football championship is the Natty. I wouldn't call March Madness championship game the Natty.
What are you calling it?
The national championship game.
No, it's the Natty, bro.
No, the Natty is one sport, bro. I think that's only football.
It's the Natty, bro. The national championship is the national championship in hoops and basketball and everything else. It's the Natty.
I disagree. I beg to differ.
I think the biggest storyline last night was obviously Clemson blows them out. What was it, 44-16?
Yeah.
I mean, ran them off the field.
So it was the worst loss the Saban's had since Miami Dolphins.
And he looked out-coached, out everything, and he looked on the sideline like, what the fuck is happening?
Went for 6 fourth downs, is doing
like,
non-Nick Saban shit.
What are we doing here, right?
Yeah.
How did you feel about the start of the game? How did you feel going in? What did you think was going to happen before it started?
I'll tell you what I thought was going to happen before it started because I took Bama big last night. So I thought Bama was going to win. I liked the 5.5. And I thought they were going to dominate them, honestly. I thought it was just going to be another one of those Bama games, but obviously that wasn't the case. You saw from the very first drive when Tua threw that pick 6 and Clemson was just beaming, I knew we were in trouble, right? I knew we were in trouble at that point in time. And it just, I mean, the first quarter they tried to keep up with them. Once they missed that extra point, it was just all downhill from there. And then Clemson just took off with it.
I wasn't worried.
Bama was running all over them. Also, I will say that Bama was running the ball up and down the field, but they just got down by so big that they couldn't. They had to start throwing it. And Tua, to me, looked shaky.
He had a shaky game.
He had a real shaky game, and like I don't want to overreact, but like it's like what the second game in his entire career that he's faced any type of real pressure, and he looks shaky. Because let's face it, Tua's been playing with the lead all year. Even when it's 0-0, he's been
putting that lead together.
They've been killing folks like 100%.
Yeah, he's been putting that lead together himself though.
But he played against a team that was ready, and he didn't look good. Like he looked bad.
I don't think that. I wouldn't say he looked bad. They looked like they didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
Like they didn't. They kind of went out there like we're Alabama.
We'll be up 28-0.
We're gonna go do what we do, and and it just wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Brent Venable was not going for that.
Not going at all.
He had a plan for everything they were doing, and it was interesting. I wasn't worried when he threw the pick 6 because it was early. He made a mistake. They got the ball back, and he showed the next possession. He threw like a 60-yard touchdown pass or whatever it was, right? So I wasn't worried there. I was worried when Trevor Lawrence looked wild comfy.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting him to look as comfy as he did.
Sunshine.
And he looked comfy the whole way.
Yeah.
That dude is going to be a problem.
He's 19 years old. Oh, he just turned 20,
He's
right?
19 years old. No, he's 19.
He turns 20 soon.
Okay, yeah, but he's 19
he's
right
19,
now.
Yeah.
And I think we fell in the trap because I had Bama too.
Yeah.
We fell in the trap of Clemson hasn't really played anybody all year. It didn't help me that they played Notre Dame and everyone was like, Notre Dame's not shit. So that didn't seem like a big marquee win.
We knew Notre Dame wasn't shit every year.
It didn't seem like a marquee win.
Yeah.
But
stop letting Notre Dame in the playoff, by the way.
Yeah. But we got to get them in a conference
They need
of some sort.
They need to join a conference.
They
have no reason to, though.
Yeah, but the NCAA needs to be like, yo, you need to be.
Deal.
You
want that NBC money every year.
I know, but you need to be in the NCAA. Should be like, yo, you need to be in the conference.
You need to join a conference.
Pick which one you want. I don't give a fuck
where
it is.
Play somebody.
You want to play in the Big 10? You want to play in the Big 12? Cool, but you got to start playing.
Well, they joined one for. They're in the Big East for basketball and all the other shit.
Like you got to start playing like some
or Conference USA.
Let's get some structure in this joint somehow, some way.
They write. I've never seen. Yeah, they got a lot of influence, and they really.
They got a lot of plug.
They write their own rules, but that's what happens when you own a network. You got a network. NBC. Every Saturday has to show another damn game. It's crazy.
So, the biggest takeaways for me from this game was Trevor Lawrence looks like a real pro.
Definitely.
This dude is just a quarterback. He's 6'6".
Yeah.
He can just stand there, see everything. His anticipation was great. He throws a really, really good ball.
Yeah.
I think we knew that, but he looked sensational.
And he replaced the dude. I mean, the dude who was
Kelly Bryant.
Yeah, who ended up transferring out, and Kelly Bryant was decent. Yeah.
I think, and then the other takeaway was this Dabo Swinney versus Nick Saban.
Yeah.
This, in my opinion, is what Nick Saban needed. He was cruising.
Yeah, for sure.
I beat up everybody. No one can fuck with me. And if we're being honest, the SEC is probably with the Big Ten up there with the premier division in college football. But outside of Alabama, they're kind of sus. Florida, LSU,
they have some teams
Auburn,
that are up and down.
Yeah,
they have a lot of reputation teams. A lot of, like Florida's a reputation team, but when's the last time Florida was a real threat?
Right.
You know what I mean? Auburn can get hot, but they're not a consistent threat. They need a Cam Newton type situation. Georgia's good. Georgia's good, right? And then the other side of the conference is all shit.
Right.
You know that whole Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Tennessee. They're trash. They're all trash.
Let's keep it 100. Like
Mississippi
the
State,
SEC is
they
not
got a cheat
who
to win. Yeah,
they're not like they're the years when Tebow and them and all.
They're not solid top to bottom like that.
Rock solid like it has been before, right? So I think this gets really interesting because they've now met 4 times in the playoff. They're 2-2, and Dabo has two titles and Saban has 1.
Yeah,
or do they have 2 in the last 4 years?
2-2,
2-2, right?
Yep.
So I think this is what Saban needed. This shit is just getting started.
100%, yeah.
Dabo and Nick Saban are now on the same level right now.
Oh, and Dabo's
not legacy-wise, but college football, like if you're the blue chipper number 1 and you can – it was more like, yo, I'm going to go to Bama.
Yeah.
Right now, it's like
well, look what Dabo's selling, though. Hey, come over here. Come to the ACC. First off, we're going to sweep the ACC, right? So you're going to play in the playoff. We'll play – maybe one tough out-of-conference game. I think this year they played A&M, right?
I don't even think they played a tough non-conference, but yeah.
I think they played A&M at the beginning of the year. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, we're going to run through the ACC, and at the end of the year, you're going to be in the college football playoff. And that's a great sell. Or you can go to Bama where you might not play. You're going to be playing against, behind all these other guys. You got this tough road through the SEC. You're going to get banged up all year and, all that. Yeah, I think he's selling something really good over there at Clemson. If you look at the recruiting rankings, he's got a top 10 class coming in next year. He's got a top 10 class coming in the year after that. Same with Bama. So you're 100% right, man. This thing's going to keep rolling on.
Yeah, at A&M, they won 28-26, and that was without Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But that was it. Otherwise, they run through the ACC. I think Syracuse was ranked. Florida State had a down year. I mean, it's an easy sell.
He's selling...
And he's selling more fun. Who the fuck wants to play for Nick Saban?
He's selling the fun, bro.
Who the fuck wants to play? Look at Nick Saban, though. Like, who wants to play for that? It's the Pete Carroll thing. Like, Dabo's got that whole Pete Carroll swag. Like, he's dancing in the locker room after the game. He's a fun guy. Like, yeah, I mean, it's a better environment.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Come play in the ACC.
They were talking on the telecast, that young freshman Ross that was making, first off, that one-hand catch, bro.
Yeah, crazy.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
They were talking about that kid is from Alabama. He's the #1 wide receiver coming out, and he didn't go to Bama. He went to Clemson.
Yeah.
And the reason he went to Clemson is because they were selling this whole like family-oriented,
more fun environment.
Bond, Death Valley,
and he's still going to get you to the league. And he's still going to get you to the league.
Right.
Saban was sending boys off his defense to the league left and right. Dabo Swinney's doing the same thing. Plenty of Clemson first-round draft picks out there.
But this woke Saban up.
Yeah.
This is a real rivalry now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Saban is thinking about Dabo Swinney every single day until the next season starts.
Yep.
And he's going to go at this Alabama team that comes back next year is going to be a sight to see, bro.
Yeah.
I think, what do you think about the whole narrative that it finally caught up to Saban that he was just flipping his coaches? Dabo has lost 3 coaches in the last 4 years, and it hasn't been his defensive coordinator once.
Yeah. Well, because they're paying him $2.2 million, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he's the second highest.
Yeah, he's getting paid cash money.
Yeah, he's paid more than all but like 60.
Yeah, Venables getting
coaches.
paid cash money. Yeah,
he's crazy money.
But to that, look at what happens, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that that's a big deal that he has to keep recouping these top Kirby Smart?
No, you know what I hate? I hate when something like this happens. Like Saban loses in a national championship game. It's like, oh, it's finally caught up to him. Yo, people lose. I'm sorry, like it happens.
Not like that, though.
It's whatever. He lost the game.
No, but not
They've
like that.
They've been thrashing people.
Not like that, though, bro.
Stop.
Not like that,
I'm not
bro.
out on Saban or what he's been doing that's made him successful all these years. He goes through coordinators. He goes through Sarkisian. He goes through fucking.
What I'm saying is that a reason?
What's the guy? Kiffin? No, it doesn't matter, man, because he keeps getting good ones.
Yeah, but you don't think it caught up to him a little bit?
No.
They got ran off the field.
That's fine. Loxley had a great year as offensive coordinator for them. They put up numbers. His quarterback was done every game by the fourth quarter. We can't just that's almost discrediting Clemson. Clemson came in and smacked him in the mouth. It happens. I'm not ready to say what he's doing doesn't work anymore because he lost one football game this year. Granted, it was the most important football game of the year, but there was a chance he was going to lose that game. He lost the game. I have no problem with anything that Nick Saban does or how he chooses to run his organization. He can run it how he damn well pleases because it continues to work.
I'm not saying
if he wants to flip
he's not firing. They're moving on other places.
He's a fucking egomaniac. I don't think he wants a coordinator that's going to get all the credit. I mean, I think, that's just part of his thing. I don't think it's easy to work for him. Like, I heard an interview with Kiffin, and Lane Kiffin by no means is a guy that anybody wants to work with, but he was just talking about the difference between working for Pete Carroll and working for Nick Saban is that Saban's just a tough guy to work for. He's one of those guys. He's not going to tell you you're doing a great job. He's not going to make you feel warm and fuzzy. That grinds on people, especially when you can go somewhere else. But if he changed that style, he's no longer Nick Saban. So grinding out coordinators is kind of his thing. They're all fine. Shit, we were just talking about Georgia. That's a Nick Saban guy.
No doubt.
Dabo Swinney's a Nick Saban guy.
It's tough to keep replacing all these premier coaches, though. That's what I'm saying. So,
but he is a premier coach.
Yeah, but I think it caught up to him a little bit this year, and I think they took for granted that they kind of thought that they were Alabama. And
Belichick's been doing that for the Patriots for 17 years.
Yeah, he's also has Tom Brady on the quarter. That's like, yes,
he's got Tua Tagovailoa and
a
fucking bunch of blue chippers on D. No, I can't. I'm not. I hate that shit. I hate when it becomes like, oh, this final because of this one game. So you mean to tell me if he won this game, it didn't catch up to him? Think about how silly that sounds. If he won this game, that thing didn't catch up to him.
Well, what if it was
that was why they lost this game? They lost this game because they flipped coordinators every year.
They weren't prepared like they usually are.
They got smacked.
They weren't prepared.
They got smacked.
They weren't prepared though.
Nick Saban is in charge of preparing the football team.
100% he is.
He's in charge of that.
But I mean,
especially defensively.
He delegates a lot of different things.
Especially in the defensive backfield. That's what Nick Saban does.
So him flipping coaches every other year doesn't mean anything.
No, if they were losing national championships every other year.
But on the flip side, Dabo's not switching anything. No,
they've been
and he's steady rolling.
College football playoffs been around for 5 years, and last time I checked, Alabama's been every single one of them.
Yeah. And they've been 100%.
So I think flipping coordinators every year, and before that, they were winning regular national championships. So flipping coordinators has been okay for him. It's okay. Whatever he does is okay. It's fine.
I think it made it.
Why does it have to be something that he needs to change? He needs to figure out a way to beat fucking Clemson next year. Yeah. He's got to figure out a way to stop Trevor Lawrence, who's a true freshman. So he's probably going to see him at least 2 more years. Yeah. But I don't think that's a symptom of him changing out coordinators.
I think that was a factor last night. They weren't prepared on offense or defense, and
so a coordinator who was there last year would have been better prepared. How much turnover did Alabama have on their defense between last year and this year? He's not coaching the same players. A lot. He's not coaching the same players.
Yeah, probably a lot. But
it's coaching this. Their whole league is in the whole league is playing on Sunday.
I think it has an impact
the whole team.
When you continue to swap out coordinators, and we'll definitely see that if we lose Vic Fangio, and you'll see that it makes a difference. Someone's not going to be able to just walk in.
100%. But Matt Nagy is not fucking Nick Saban, bro. Matt Nagy is not Nick Saban. Nick Saban is the head. I disagree with that.
Okay, so that had nothing to do with it. You think they just lost?
No, I think they just got smacked by a team that was better prepared, but is that preparation? I mean, those guys have been together for a whole year. What does being together last year have to do with it? I get continuity and all that, but that would matter if Nick Saban wasn't the program. These head coaches, these Sabans and these Belichicks, the parts are interchangeable. They are the program. I get the Brady, of course, but the parts are interchangeable, man. That's why these college coaches last forever, man. The good ones. That's why Daniels is back in New England. What? That's why they brought him back. Well, they had to bring him back. Yeah, he came back
because he
also did what was good for him. He accepted the job.
We missing some shit out back, like what we used to. Let's get him back in here.
He knew he had to come back, and he definitely had to bend the knee when he came back. To Bill Belichick, I'm back. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry.
We'll kill it. We'll just kill it there. But I think I'm really excited to see what Nick Saban and Bama do this offseason and how they come back, because this is a pill that he hasn't had to swallow in a long time.
Well, he's losing a coordinator. Didn't Loxley take a job?
He's right. Yeah. And I mean, but this is going to be some shit where people aren't talking about Bama going forward now next year. They're talking about Trevor Lawrence and Clemson and Dabo Sweeney. So we'll see how that
we could go on for this for
how that narrative
goes. Let's pick this back up next year and see what people are talking about.
Shout out Trevor Lawrence and Dabo Sweeney. That was a performance for the ages.
Love Dabo.
Yeah, shout out Dabo.
Love his story. Yeah, great.
Yeah, love it. Let's switch over to the NFL playoffs and the coaching carousel.
Yeah.
Let's kick it off with this coaching carousel. Lead the way, because we're running over time over here, G. We talking.
An hour and 10 minutes. Yeah. John, just a couple NFL hires today. First off, Bruce Arians goes over to the Bucs, which I thought was surprising. I thought he retired from the Cardinals. He didn't get fired from Arizona, right? I think he just retired.
It was like one of those you're fired, but we'll tell everybody that you're leaving.
Which is an interesting situation, because for them, I think they do have a Jameis decision on what they're going to do. I think his contract's up. So I would not, under any circumstance right now, give him long-term money at all.
Really quick.
Yeah.
I actually read an article about, I think it was actually a Mina Kimes podcast I was checking out.
Yeah.
She talked about if the front office is still in place on a quarterback that they picked.
Oh, yeah, yeah, you're right.
They're never, ever, ever going to move off that dude. So if I'm not mistaken, that front office that picked Jameis is still in Tampa Bay. So I don't know what type of money they're going to give him, but he's going to be the quarterback.
Yeah.
Front offices don't give up on their guys like that. Yeah, Ryan, as long as Ryan Pace is around, Trubisky's going to be the quarterback.
It's not even just the personality, the stupid decisions with Jameis. He's just not very good, in my opinion. He throws a lot of picks.
He's average.
You know what I mean? I liked him coming out of college a lot. But the baffling one to me was replacing Steve Wilkes, black head coach in Arizona, who they gave 1 year. So you could change a lot in 1 year with a rookie quarterback. But we'll talk about that another day. They replaced him with Kliff Kingsbury, who, if you don't know, has been the head coach at Texas Tech over the last, 7 years, where he amassed a record of 35-40, including 19-35 in the Big 12, right? So after the season, Texas Tech fires him. He gets hired as the offensive coordinator at USC, which is a great job for someone who just got fired from Texas Tech. He's there for about a month, and then today the Cardinals hire him to be the head coach, which to me is crazy. Now, when I told it to you, you're like, "Oh yeah, for sure." Like, I saw one look at this dude.
Yo,
this
Aaron,
type of guy is the head coach.
Quick.
Yeah.
Now, I don't even know if I don't have it on. Yeah, hold on one sec. But Kliff Kingsbury has the Lane Kiffin syndrome.
Just has that look.
I'm gonna show you a picture. If you don't know who Kliff Kingsbury is, you're gonna see him in a second.
Yeah. What's the Lane Kiffin syndrome though? Explain that to me, man. I need to know what that is.
The Lane Kiffin
young white
syndrome
dude who
is,
stays in a job and coaching.
this is Kliff Kingsbury. First off, he's wearing Ray-Ban stylish sunglasses with his headset.
Yeah.
Like, this is the guy we're dealing with, right? Old quarterback at Texas Tech, offensive guy.
He's got the gel in his hair.
Likes to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Mahomes is a product of his at Texas Tech.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
Because you know who else should have been products of him at Texas Tech? Because last I checked, 2 Heisman Trophy winners left his program in consecutive years.
Yeah, Mayfield.
And Kyler Murray.
And
the last 2 Heisman Trophy winners were originally Texas Tech guys. So, to me, that was telling. Because it's not like he was winning ball games over there and he has Heisman Trophy winners transferring out. So, again, what is it about Kliff Kingsbury that makes him such a good coaching candidate? If 2 Heisman Trophy candidates or 2 Heisman Trophy winners consecutive years leave my program and I've only won 19 games in the Big 12 in 5 years, 6 years, I don't understand why he's such a hot candidate.
Yeah, I think the Mayfield thing is, you know, he just wanted to go play somewhere.
Sure,
He was going to leave, do whatever, right?
Kyler Murray was not. Kyler Murray started games at Oklahoma or at Texas Tech.
Yeah. But the Lane Kiffin syndrome is you're good on O. You're one of the trendy offenses that puts up a lot of points. You're a good-looking young white guy. This is just facts, bro.
Yeah.
And how many years did Lane Kiffin get gigs where we're like, is this a fucking joke?
He got Tennessee gig, Oakland.
He went from Tennessee where he did nothing
to
Oakland to the NFL. And I get it. Davis is not.
I think he went from Oakland to Tennessee to SC.
I don't know. But either way, he wasn't doing anything at either.
He didn't win anywhere.
And he was going to SC, to major program after major program, the NFL team, to Alabama's offensive coordinator.
He still gets mentioned in openings.
So what I mean by that, Kliff, the Kiffin effect is Kingsbury's an offensive guy that he does put up points now. Like let's not
wins.
He doesn't get wins, but he puts up points. That's but like he's a good offensive coordinator.
Yeah, sure.
He gets points,
which is why it was perfect for the SC job.
Perfect for the SC job as offensive coordinator. Great idea. Great look. Has the LA feel. People will gravitate to that. He's just got that look, the feel. It's a good offensive guy, right? He's always gonna have a gig like that. There's always going to be an opportunity for him to come in somewhere and call offense somewhere. Now, him getting a head coaching job in the league, I don't know what warrants that. But it's a young.
He's not a great evaluator of talent.
It's a young offensive focused guy, and that's where the league is trending with the McVay. And who's the guy that the Packers just picked up? LaFleur. He was the offense.
They hired a coach.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know they hired a coach.
He was the offensive coordinator for the Titans, who was
they were looking at your boy.
Who?
Fitz.
Who was previously the offensive coordinator the year before in St. Louis under McVay. So he did a year in Tennessee, but like they didn't really do too much crazy. And then now he's going off and he's going to be in the Packers. They were talking about if Rodgers connected with them and had input in that, but whatever. But yeah, Kliff Kingsbury is always going to have a gig because I don't want to make it a race thing, but he has that look and he's offensive centric. He will always have a solid job that's my take on it.
I just think it's crazy that you had 2 Heisman Trophy winners under your nose and you didn't see the talent in those guys and someone else did. You sent him over to my man Lincoln Riley and he did that quick.
All right, coming up this weekend, how you feeling about the pros? We'll go through that real quick before we get out of here.
What game in particular? Go ahead.
Let's start it off with the Colts going to the Chiefs. That's an interesting.
The Colts are hot right
game.
now. So here's the thing, and here's why I'm tempted to take the Colts in this game. And here's why: the Colts are hot, and the Chiefs' defense is atrocious, and the Colts' defense has actually been pretty good. And Luck, as much as we talked about him before the season started, Luck actually had a really good year, and they got something. So still, I mean, the Chiefs have obviously been the team all year. Mahomes had a crazy year. He's going to be the league MVP. Arrowhead is a ridiculously hard stadium to play in, especially in the playoffs. It's one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL, if not the loudest, outside of the 12th man. But I don't want to underestimate Andy Luck and the run that they're on right now.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a really interesting game. The Chiefs are going to have to get a stop at some point.
They can't.
And they cannot.
They cannot get us. They cannot stop a nosebleed, nothing. Like, they just terrible.
And the Colts can get a stop.
Yeah.
They play D.
Yeah.
They looked so smooth
good
last week.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
The way they started, it was like, man, this is a really good football team.
Yeah.
Cowboys at Rams.
I doubted the boys last week, like heavy doubted the boys last week, and they look good. They got a formula.
Rams minus
formula
7.
Gets it done.
Over under 49.5.
I don't love the Rams. The Rams to me don't have a home field advantage, like a true home field advantage, like the crowd's going to swing anything. So to me, I'm always looking at Rams home line very skeptical. With that being said, if gun to my head, I'm probably taking the Rams minus 7. But I don't love it, and I wouldn't touch this game.
I think the Rams bounce back and they beat the Dallas Cowboys at
Yeah.
home. I don't think Dallas looked good though.
Cowboys have been on a run too.
Dallas looked good though. They
were dead.
Yeah, they were. Dallas
been on a
looked good.
run.
They shut down Seattle coming down. That
Hey,
score is closer than it
You
looked.
know who's always? You want to talk about guys that will always have a job? Jason Garrett will always have a job. You can't kill him. He's unkillable.
I was talking
He
about.
was going to be done this year, and then he had this happen, and this
That's
bought him
2
5
full
more
years.
years with Jerry.
No,
No,
not
Jerry.
5.
No, Jerry loves this guy. Dude.
He does love him.
Love him.
It won't. If
He's
it goes
Bro,
south.
He's been there forever. I think he's the second. I think he's the second longest
tenure.
tenured head coach in the NFL. Right now that Marvin Lewis is gone,
What's a Belichick?
it's Belichick, and then it's fucking Jason Garrett
What about Tomlin?
and
Tomlin's
Tomlin
gotta
and
be
Garrett.
longer
Yeah, it
than
might
Garrett.
be Belichick, Tomlin, then Garrett.
But still,
Ain't nobody else outside of that.
Yeah, he's been there for a while.
Yeah, job for life. It's
I think the
Reinsdorf-
Rams take
Reinsdorf
care of business
situation.
and close that shit
Yeah,
out.
probably.
Um,
But would you be surprised if the Cowboys won?
yeah, I would actually.
You really would?
Yeah,
See,
I think this team has run its course
Okay.
with the Rams coming off a week rest, and I think we're starting to forget about how real the Rams were earlier in the year. They closed it on a little bit of a whack stretch,
Very wax.
but I think they're gonna remind folks what time it is
Next.
coming this weekend. Patriots Chargers in New England.
Chargers
Winning
the
game.
Super Bowl.
Wow, yeah.
They're the best team in the NFL right now, in my opinion. The most complete team. I like the Chargers.
Why that Ravens game gave you that?
Yeah, no, the Ravens suck, and the Ravens aren't good. I just like the Chargers all year. I like what they've done, man. I really like the Chargers. I really like Philly Rivers in this game. I really like Philly Rivers going against the Patriots. And you call me a Patriots fan and all that, but I think this is who they probably didn't want to see. Philly Rivers and Tom Brady.
He just doesn't care.
He doesn't give a fuck. He's got 9
he's
kids,
got-
bro. He's got 9 kids.
He's got what you need to go in. Like, he has the mental to go into New England and
Listen,
be like, let's beat these
yo,
dudes. This is what we
dead
gotta
ass.
do.
You can't discredit the 9 kids thing. Like, yo, if you got 9 kids, there's not a thing in the world that phases you in life.
Yeah, it's true.
Nothing phases your life is chaotic. You know what I mean? You got 9 fucking kids. Like, yo, my man's is ultra confident. He knows this is his moment. He's a super competitive dude. I love their head coach. I like that guy a lot. Yeah, I like their team, man. I think they got some. Melvin Ingram is a dog. No, not Melvin. Who's the defensive? Yeah, Melvin Ingram's a running back. Not who's the defensive dude? Their linebacker.
You talking about Bosa?
Bosa, the Melvin something. They got a Melvin linebacker.
Melvin Gordon is the running back.
Melvin Ingram.
That might be.
I think they got a defensive dude named Melvin Ingram. Yeah, yeah, he balls.
maybe.
Yeah, Melvin Ingram. I just like their squad, man. I like the Chargers. Super Bowl.
We'll see. Super Bowl Chargers. Okay,
What else?
I'm not all the way there yet, but
All right, go ahead.
Saints Eagles is the last one. Saints got off a bye -8. I got the Saints in a runaway, low key. This full shit got to stop. I might just be salty, but
I got the Philadelphia Eagles.
you think they're gonna win?
Yeah.
Wow. I think the Saints play a good enough. The Saints play defense a little below us, and their offense is better than ours, and they're at home. They're going to put up more points. And I could see Philly going into New Orleans playing exactly how they played against us and scoring 17, 20 points. That's not going to be enough.
Melvin Ingram has 7 sacks this year for the Chargers.
Melvin Ingram,
a real player. Yeah. I don't know. I fuck the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's go Saints. Next.
That's it, man.
That was it, yeah.
That's it.
Who you got in the Super Bowl? Who's your Super Bowl pick? You got the Saints?
I got the Saints coming out of the NFC. And
Saints Chargers?
I don't know, man. The AFC is nuts, especially with Indianapolis showing that they're a real deal.
Can I see a question? Would it surprise you if the Patriots were in the Super Bowl?
Yes. With the Chiefs or the Colts, it's a lot.
I don't think the Chiefs are going to make the Super Bowl. I think the Chiefs cannot stop anybody.
But they're going to have to play one of those teams, and I think it could get real murky.
The Chargers, man. The Chargers are in the AFC right now. They're the safest bet in the AFC, in my opinion. Yeah.
We'll see. That's it for No Ketchup Chicago for this week, man. The Bears crushed us, but we'll be back, bro.
Yeah.
If I've ever been more confident about something, is that we'll be back next year, strong, tough, excited to see who we pick up in the offseason. We're going to be talking a lot of Bulls, I guess. Because
I wore the hat today, but that was just because, you know what I'm saying, I wanted to. Fuck the Bulls.
Yeah, and speaking of hats, you see the hat. I haven't even gotten Quick one of these yet.
Yeah, I'm saying.
I gotta get Quick and Aaron some of this gear. But merch is coming. I'm finalizing the website now. I'm finalizing some merch. I'll make sure you guys check all that stuff out. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tell your homies. Hop on iTunes. Give us a 5-star review, man. Appreciate everybody that hopped in on the chat. As always, appreciate the questions. For Nick the Quick, I am Sean Little. No Ketchup Chicago. For Chicago, by Chicago. Listen up. Let's get it.